All right, showtime in the garden, kids. Let's go.
your mark, get set. Let's go.
I can't do it. We'll do it live. Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
Mister, will you please wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up?
Good morning. Kevin Durant, you should have left California.
This bronsexual upset me in having to bring this teenage idiot from Wisconsin into a sports conversation. Are you really surprised that the Cowboys are giving up on Ezekiel Elliott?
Whoa. Hell no. Well, no one cares about baseball.
Bitch, are you for real?
Oh, yeah. 10 after the hour, and we are off and rolling. Good morning. Welcome to the Thursday edition of Snowman in the Morning. Glad to have y'all with us. We are presented by this morning by Starbucks, as I am at Starbucks in Edinburgh, Indiana. Also, we are presented by BetUS.com. Lots to get to this morning, including a certain football game that's going on tonight and a loaded college football weekend. And to help me break all this down, now pitching for the Yankees, number 420, Wize El Jefe. Number 420. It's the wise man himself. Good morning, Wize. I love you, brother. Thanks for coming on today.
Good morning, brother. Good morning. How you doing?
You don't seem too chipper. What's going on?
Oh, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good. I'm good. I was just drinking my coffee.
Oh, yes. That's right. We coffee drinkers, we got to get that first shot in before we get going.
It's actually my second cup right now.
Oh, it's your second cup.
Oh yeah. I've been up since about 6 this morning. So yeah.
And the notes are coming in already. I can hear the sounds on my end. They don't stop, do they? All right. As I said, we got a lot to get to. Long way to go and a short time to get there. Let's begin with the whip around. And the whip around today is presented by Fanatics, officially licensed everything. Chandler Jones has been placed on the non-football injury list over a personal issue. Now, how much do you want to bet, Wize, that he's going to wind up elsewhere way before the trading deadline?
Listen, players are disgruntled. Players are disgruntled.
Yep.
It's a business. Once people start realizing it's a business, no one's guaranteed. It's not like how it was in the days where players spent maybe their whole career with a team. No, this is business. When they fall out of favor with the coaching staff wants to replace them. They get rid of them. So it's a business. Good luck with all your future endeavors, whatever. Hey,
where do you think he'll wind up?
He's not the same Chandler Jones of old. So
no, he's not. He's not.
Anybody who use a reliable, serviceable lineman, we'll see, because he's gonna have to play. What is he gonna play? He's not young anymore.
No.
He's not the explosive player he once was.
Yeah, it just makes you wonder who's going to take a flyer on him. Moving on. J.C. Mejía of the Brewers needs to line up and let all of his teammates punch him in the face, in the immortal words of my buddy Wize. because he just got a 162 game ban after a second positive test for an illegal substance. The look on Wize's face says everything.
I don't care. It's just you're right. His teammates should line up and punch him in the face. They should. Absolutely should. Because let's move on.
Let's move on. Out of California and in Minnesota, as the Vikings have traded for Cam Akers, which signals to me, I don't know if the Vikings are throwing in the towel, but it seems like they are, because they should have never traded Dalvin Cook in the first place.
Well, they didn't trade Dalvin Cook; they released him.
Yeah, true.
So who knows why people don't do things like? We'll see. We'll see what this Cam Akers trade does for them. Obviously, he wasn't what the Rams wanted, so they found the sucker. I mean, trading partner to take him off their hands.
Can you say that again, please? It just sounded so flawless. Say that again.
No, I can't. It just came out. It just can't be said. Can't be duplicated like that.
He said, and he said it with a straight face, folks. He said, "If I'm the sucker, I mean the trade partner."
Yeah,
Oh goodness, good gracious. Is now a member of the Cleveland Browns, as the Browns have signed him to replace Nick Chubb. How will the Browns operate without Nick Chubb for the rest of this season?
Who they sign?
Kareem Hunt.
They shouldn't have let him go in the first place.
True.
That's the story.
Yep.
And they're gonna miss Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb is easily one of the top 3 backs in the NFL.
Yeah.
So losing him is hopefully Kareem Hunt has something left in the tank, and they can. But if Deshaun Watson keeps playing like the trash player he is right now, it's a wrap.
I love it.
Ain't gonna help because Deshaun Watson is playing straight garbage.
He is.
He's Masuda right now.
He is. I don't even recognize him.
You telling me Baker Mayfield isn't happy right now that they're losing, and he's
doing backflips. He's doing backflips that the Browns are sucking bad. He's absolutely doing backflips, and I can't say I blame him. That's the late starting version of Whip Around, presented by Fanatics. Break. Wize and I will preview Thursday night football in Santa Clara, and a couple other things have come into play right now. Along with Wize El Jefe, our executive producers Cole Johnson, and the folks in the Fanatic Feedback Zone, Snowman is here, and we'll be back in a flash.
Join Ryan McCarthy.
I became a Jets fan because Kermit the Frog was my favorite Muppet because he was green, and the Jets wore green. That's how I became a Jets fan.
And Dustin Henry.
ESPN is cashing all in on let's pay a few personalities and we'll just kind of fill in the gaps.
As they walk you through all of the world of sports from their perspective.
The Albany Empire, it's a literal circus.
No credentials required. Where, Ryan, say the tag.
Where you don't need a press pass to talk sports.
Every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. On YouTube and where you can find all podcasts. Join the transporter to Hades.
Your butt and gut becomes one.
Join the reformer of hooker whores.
This is my daughter, Placenta Booty Johnson.
Join the bronze god.
Whenever you are in distress, take off your baseball cap and throw it in the air.
Join your very own superhero of broadcasting, Chris Bass.
So whatever color crayon they get, they palm it and do 2 circles, and that translates to I can be the black people.
As she takes you through the week's paces in Baseline. Live every Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central, Pacific Time Zone people, just stay asleep when this is on live and just catch the recording. Oh, I'm sorry. Exclusively on the Chris Bass YouTube channel.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.
We take this job so serious.
I know this is going to come back to haunt me, but I take Carson Wentz over Zach Wilson.
Oh, no. And Dante walks off.
What in the all types of blue hell?
Yes, it's Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson.
I still can't believe he said that. I'm still in shock. Like when I saw that, I was like, did he say that? Oh my God.
You'll see Cool and Coach during the second hour. I can't believe he said that either. And he prefaced it by saying, I know this is going to come back to haunt me.
Yeah. Because you don't know how, like, we know how much he's abused. I'm about to say Zach Wilson, but abused Carson Wentz.
Yes.
But to actually say he would choose Carson, and you know what? I understand why, because Carson Wentz had a pretty good start to his career.
Yeah.
And then injuries derailed it, and then this dude that went in the Super Bowl while he's hurt didn't help his cause either. So yeah. I get it. I understand now.
Yeah, but still, and I'll repeat your point. He verbally abuses Carson Wentz every chance he gets.
He does.
It's like, I don't want to go full Lewis Black here, but it's like 2 bowls of nothing. Insert expletive here.
It's like, damn if you do, damn if you don't. Like, like, where do you go? Like, you could hope you could resurrect Zach Wilson's career, because Carson Wentz is just done.
Beyond done.
Can Zach Wilson get his act together? Because
that's a good question.
If he can't, the Jets are going to be a whole lot of trouble.
If they're not in a whole lot of trouble already. I mean, I love you, Breece Hall, but they're in a whole lot of trouble already, aren't they? Seems like it the way they played Sunday against the Cowboys. Am I wrong?
There was a couple of things that there's certain plays like Sauce Gardner dropping the interception.
Yeah, that should have been a pick.
Could have been a pick six.
Should have been a pick. Should have been a pick six. Yeah, I agree with that.
Could have been. Who knows? But let's not. they played horribly. That offense did not get nothing going on.
Nothing.
But that just shows you how dominant this Dallas defense can be. We knew the Jets' offensive line was suspect from the beginning. It was no.
Yes.
I don't think Aaron Rodgers would have had fared any better with that offensive line. They're just bad. They just happened to put out a miracle in against Buffalo. But
yeah, against Buffalo of all teams.
They have Buffalo's number. The Jets
Yeah.
have Buffalo's number for some reason. That defense have Buffalo's number. But when they come up against a team that's defensively just as good as your vaunted defense,
right?
It's different, man. Especially if your offense can't do anything.
Yeah,
that means you're gonna be starting your defense. Your defense is gonna be starting some real bad positions.
And then the special teams comes into play, and they could pin you even deeper. And all it allows that defense to do is to pin their ears back and come after you.
Yeah,
just allows them to pin their ears back and come after you. Speaking of defense, there's this tonight from Levi's Stadium. The air quality is in question because of wildfires in Oregon and Northern California. The Smith River Complex fire burned thousands of acres in California. It's scheduled to go on 8 p.m. tonight from Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara. We'll look at the game, but at the same time, we're also praying that everybody is safe in that area, in that Oregon/Northern California area around the bay, around where Levi's Stadium is.
Of course, we wish them, but pray. We just have nothing but prayers for the people that are suffering with that. And it's ridiculous with all these fires going on, man. Maui, Canadian, up in Canada, those wildfires. It's crazy.
Yeah, it seems to me, doesn't it seem to you this year that the wildfires have been even crazier than normal? Because they do happen, but it just seems like this year or the last couple of years it's been out of control. More so.
Oh, listen, for the sky to change over here when there's a fire going on in Canada, it was a sight to be seen over here. When it was having those Canadian fires, you were seeing the clouds and everything. The way the sky was different over here in Pennsylvania. It's just reality setting that like this is a serious issue.
Well, let's take a look at the game tonight. It's the Giants, it's the 49ers. Both teams are coming off wins on Sunday. Of course, the Giants wiping out a 21-point deficit in Arizona, beating the Cardinals 31-28. 49ers coming off of a win against the Los Angeles Rams. 30-23 was the final there. I'll turn to you, Wize, first and foremost. What is the first thing the Giants have to establish tonight if they're going to win in Santa Clara?
Offensive line. If we don't have no Saquon Barkley, that means we're gonna have to rely more on Daniel Jones, and him not having no time to throw or do anything is not gonna help. It's just not gonna help. That offensive line. Whew, listen, after the second half of the second game, I was like, "Oh boy, we're gonna go get shut out twice, and then by Arizona." And for them to get it together and come back and win the game, I was surprised. Offensive line.
Well, what changed for the Giants, do you think, in that second half in Arizona?
I don't know, man. You gotta look at it like they don't play a lot during the preseason, right? They practice, yes, they do all this, but they don't really play any significant snaps during the preseason. So you figure in some of these first few games, they're still working out some of the kinks and start again. So now you start getting players like Jalen Hyatt knowing what they're doing, opening up the offense. You're seeing Dan Waller get the double teams. So how are you gonna adjust to that? Yeah, he's getting double teams. That means somebody else is open.
Right. And they're looking. The Giants have to have a complete performance going up against one of the best teams, not just in the NFC, but in the NFL. They can take a lot from that second half in Arizona and bring it to bring it to Levi's. But the one thing that scares me, and you and I have talked about this so many times over, a quick 3-day turnaround for the Giants who stayed in Arizona and then have to come to Northern California to play this game. Who do you think it affects more? Because both teams are coming off a 3-day quick turnaround. Who do you think it affects more? Does it affect the Giants more? Or does it affect the 49ers?
I would say it would have affected the Giants more had they been flying from New York to Cali, but they're here in they stood in Arizona for a reason. They stood so they wouldn't have to do that travel, which is smart on their part.
Yeah.
So they're not gonna have that jet lag that they usually would have coming over from the East Coast to the West Coast.
True. They did. They stayed in Arizona after the game. They got themselves together. They got their act together. And now they come west to renew acquaintances with the 49ers. From the 49ers standpoint, we left a lot of points on the table against the Rams. A lot. Because that should have been a 40-point game for Frisco. And I'm not saying that just being a fan. I'm saying that because I observed so many opportunities that the 49ers had. What turned it around for them, and I talked about this last night on that 49ers show, what turned it around, I think, for the 49ers was Brock Purdy and that quarterback sneak for a touchdown that evened the game at 17 at the half. Because if you go down 17-10 or even 17-13 to close the first half, I don't think the 49ers honestly would have been as confident in the second half as they were, coming out 17 apiece, and then they get a 3-and-out against the Rams.
No, listen. To me, I don't think had they still gone down 17-13, whatever, and I still think they still have that confidence that they're the better team. They still feel better. There's no doubt. Like I was even going back to the Giants game and the Cardinals game. I was seeing some clips and everything, and Isaiah Simmons, who had come over in the trade from the Cardinals, he called it. He said, "Yo, they're gonna feel sick when we come back in the second half."
Mm-hmm.
And they decided because the defense hasn't been playing too well either. So defensively, they stepped up in the second half, and offensively. So as far as with the 49ers go, how do the Giants respond if they allow the same kind of if the 49ers allow the Giants to stick around?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Kind of like how what they were doing with the Rams.
Right.
Are the Giants going to be able to capitalize on that?
And on the other side of that coin, if the Giants allow the 49ers to get out to not just a lead, but a big lead, not just a lead, but a big lead, because when you saw from the first two games this year, especially the second half against the Rams, once the 49ers got out to a double-digit lead, they didn't relinquish it. Once they regained the lead 20-17 in Los Angeles, they did not relinquish it. Deebo Samuel gets a touchdown, Moody gets a field goal, end of ball game. How do the Giants stay in, besides the offensive line, how do the Giants stay in this ball game?
Going after Brock Purdy. See if he's ready for these blitz.
Yeah.
That's what they do.
Yeah, the Giants blitz a lot. I think
Kayvon Thibodeau has to step up. He hasn't really been doing what he's supposed to do. Our young corners, listen, we expected this. If we want to get these kids the opportunity to play, and they're going to learn on the fly.
Right.
We're going to see how our defense responds, because they haven't had a statement game. We have Sexy Dexy got a big contract. Things need to start improving. Like, we thought we had a better defense than it's been on the field lately. Like, it's been ridiculous. So our defense is going to be really tested. We're going to see. I say send Kitchen at Brock Purdy to see if he's ready for it. Send it all.
But see, there's a wild card in this, and his name is Christian McCaffrey, who's had 100 yards in both games, 152 against the Steelers and 110 against the Rams. You have a healthy Christian McCaffrey. It's You got to agree with this. It's a different McCaffrey that's in San Francisco than he was in Carolina because the Panthers overused him. Now you have McCaffrey in this dynamic offense with Kyle Shanahan. And then you have Elijah Mitchell back there as well. Kyle Juszczyk, the fullback, one of the few teams that uses a fullback. You have a 49ers team that not only wants to run the football, they want to punish you while running the football.
And that's why those big boys we got in the front got to do what they're getting paid for. We got Leonard Williams in the front. We have Dexter Lawrence. We have all these other pieces that we've had. We added Bobby Okereke to help with the run. Isaiah Simmons was just added in a trade late in the preseason. So we need to show that we did these moves in the offseason to improve against the run defense, improve on our run defense. So yeah, we're gonna be tested heavily with Kyle Shanahan and his offense and healthy Christian McCaffrey. And not having Barkley is gonna really affect our offense in a way. So we got to see if our rookie steps up and how Breida handles the load.
Something else you had mentioned about getting after Purdy. He was sacked 3 times in Pittsburgh, but only sacked once. Didn't lose any yards in Los Angeles. Purdy is very mobile, and the last couple of years, and this is an outsider noticing, the Giants seem to struggle with a mobile quarterback, and now they're going to face one of the most mobile quarterbacks in the league. And also, if you look at Purdy, it looks like he wasn't even injured, and his UCL was torn. Did surgery on that. He's back, and now he's really guiding this offense, averaging 30 points a game coming into tonight.
Listen, that's what's going to have to be done because we don't know if our offense can put up 30 points. So our defense has to come up and show that, hey, we got to make stops. It comes down to going after Purdy and making stops because obviously without Saquon, with teams keying on Daniel Jones and on that offensive line, somebody's got to do something to balance it out. So we'll see.
We will indeed see. Victor from the Fanatics feedback zone. Christian has to be careful because he's had a few injuries already, and teams are going to start focusing on him more. That's true, but the way that he's been running the ball, 2 100-yard games to begin the season, I think the last I got to do some research on this, but I think the last 49er running back to begin a season with 2 100-yard games, I would have to say Ricky Waters. That's a total guess. That's a total guess. Niners are trying to go 3-0 for the first time since 2019. 8 o'clock tonight. My broadcast will begin at 7:45. Here's the line. It's brought to you by BetUS.com. Niners are favored by 10.5. The over/under is 44. What say you, sir?
What is the over/under?
44.
And they have 10.5.
Yeah, Niners are laying 10.5.
I don't think they're gonna come in and really smack the Giants around like that. I think Giants have some pride. They're ready to. Man, I don't think it's gonna be 10.5. I think they've learned from that Dallas ass whooping.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the points here. I got the 49ers winning, but I'm taking the points here because historically the Giants have always given us fits in Northern California. They've always given us fits, no matter who's the quarterback, whether it's Bill Sims, Jeff Hostetler, Eli Manning, Daniel. Y'all have always given us fits. That's why I totally respect the Giants. And I love Big Blue. I have the 49ers winning this game, but it's going to be closer than 10.5. If it's over 10, if it's even close to being 10, I'll be surprised. I will definitely be surprised.
Oh, I wouldn't, but it just means it was one of those nights for Daniel Jones.
Yeah. You think he gets 300 tonight?
We're going to need 300 to win.
Barkley has been ruled out, and 2 parts of that offensive line is also out. Also, we'll hit this final point before we go to break. It's going to be that offensive line for the Giants. The key for me is going to be the Giants' offensive line versus that ferocious 49ers defensive line.
The key for me is both lines, defense and offensive line for the Giants. Both of them, they both need to step up.
That's our BetUS.com game preview. The Giants and the 49ers, 8 p.m. tonight. 8:15 is the kickoff. I will start my stream I'll start at exactly 8 o'clock. Have a 15-minute chat with the fans, and then we'll take you into the play-by-play from Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara. Coming up after the break, there is trouble with the Bears. Why are we not surprised? Back after this.
Everything Boston. I love you morons. New Kids from the Block, New Edition.
Dear whatever the law firm is. Sincerely, the U.S. Supreme Court.
Ben Affleck, Matt Damon. Go yourself again, Jason
Ready to hang with some fellas who know football? Let's ride. LC Muscles 28.
I think they're the most overrated defense in the league.
Steel Sermon.
We did not trail for a single second.
Tiny Tim.
McCarthy is a bonehead.
A Pizzle 90.
I'm going with my boys. Fins up, baby.
Get ready for the 4 Horsemen of Peckham's. Every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central on YouTube. Papi J.
You got the option to cry for the government. You got the option to protest. You got the option to keep buying. But this is also an option.
Wize El Jefe.
We're the first tech geeks. We're the first gamers. We're the first everything. Everything. Like Gen X's, we are the ones.
BS3 Network proudly presents the crew from the New York boroughs who never wants that smoke. Nah, they want that fire. Papi J and Wize El Jefe. Fridays at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. Check your local listings for your viewing and listening pleasure.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
My beautiful Dr. K supplying the voice. SNWMN Multimedia is what you need for Twitter, and Snowman Multimedia for all the rest of our social media. Along with Wize El Jefe, Snowman here, coming to you live from Edinburgh, Indiana. And the Bears. I sound like my mother, my late mother. Mom, I love you. The Bears. Their defensive coordinator has resigned. And there are conflicting reports out there. Before I even think of taking a look at this, man, what is wrong with that organization, dog? What is with that organization? What?
Where do we start?
I don't know. Let me ask you this question. Let me ask you this question, and I'm using one of your suggestions. Who is the first person in the Bears organization that needs a good sock in the face? Who needs to get punched in the face first?
The GM. Because he's the one who constructed this team.
All in favor, say aye.
he constructed this team. He's the one who built this team. You supposedly have a franchise quarterback, but you don't protect them. You don't build that line to protect them. You expect him to do it all.
Mm-hmm.
Who is it? Your favorite receiver? Oh yeah,
DJ
Moore. Yeah, that should have to be number one. Okay. Let's see. Everything is wrong. Like,
can I just say, Wize, that I love you for saying it that way, because they expected DJ Moore to be a number one receiver, and he's not even a number two.
I wouldn't say that. I'm just saying you don't have an offensive line for your quarterback to throw the ball. First of all, Okay.
Listen, Victor has the perfect response. What's wrong with the Bears? You got an hour?
Probably need more than an hour because everything within the organization. It's everything. It's everything.
Listen,
First of all, we're gonna start with where they're playing at. First of all,
my gosh,
whatever the space shuttle, whatever you want to call it, anything you want to call it, whatever.
That spaceship called Soldier Field. Now, granted, I've done games in both versions of Soldier Field, before and after the spaceship landed. And the second one that I did with Victor and with Jermel and my buddy James McCallum, that's a story in and of itself. And I'm not putting it here. I'll put it on Patreon soon. But the turf at Soldier Field, first of all, while we're talking about Soldier Field, it's not even owned by the Bears. What is wrong with that picture? What is wrong with that picture? That a professional football team in the third largest market in the country does not own their stadium.
I guess they're not very.
Everything you need to know.
They're not very savvy business owners, I guess.
Yep. And now you got, and now you have this. Alan Williams is out as the Bears defensive coordinator after 2 weeks into the season. He writes, quote, "It is with great regret that I tender my resignation as the Bears defensive coordinator of the Chicago Bears club, effective immediately. I am taking a step back to take care of my health and family," close quote.
You know what that means, right? I am escaping this circus before it goes up in flames. My mental health is much more important than me staying here in Chicago and working for this organization that's sucks. Yeah, I know it's an NFL job.
Since 1985, they have royally sucked. They've sucked, man.
Yeah.
And listen, I can honestly look into this camera and look at everybody and say, I have never been an ardent Bears fan, ever. Because you get the sense that this right here just highlights everything that's wrong with the Bears. A spokesperson for the Bears refuted social media rumors that authorities raided Hallis Hall and said police have not visited the team in connection with Williams. What? Williams served as the defensive backs coach for the Indianapolis Colts and Detroit Lions. That should tell you everything you need to know right there. He also had a stint as the Vikings defensive coordinator. Again, that should tell you everything you need to know right there. So who do we believe in this situation? Do we believe the Bears? Do we believe Williams? I mean, what the hell is going on here? I don't trust any of this. Citing need to address health. Now, if that is the case, and we still don't know all the details because all the details have not surfaced. There have been rumors that Hallis Hall was raided. That has happened. But still, what the hell is wrong with this situation, man?
I don't know. I'm not close to the situation. I didn't even know what was going on. So you being a Chicago native, you're much more informed than I am.
Not about this.
Does anything surprise you nowadays? Though, like seriously, is it?
No.
I
This should surprise. When it comes to the Bears, this should surprise me, but it doesn't. All I have to do is go back to Buddy Ryan and the way he left the team and how the Bears have suffered since 1985. They got a lucky Super Bowl appearance in 2006 because Drew Brees couldn't throw for 600 yards. Now, the Bears defense was great that year, okay? But they got lit up by the Colts in the Super Bowl in the rain. Nothing surprises me about this team anymore. Nothing surprises me about this organization. And until the McCaskies go, this is where they're going to be, not just for the foreseeable future, but for the future period. Unless they buy Soldier Field and get it to where fans will actually want to attend the game. Because if you remember the opener last year against the 49ers, it was played in a monsoon. And the turf hasn't recovered. Hell, has the turf ever recovered since they've gone to grass? And they went to grass in 1988. They went to grass in 1988. Have they recovered since then? Has that turf recovered?
Is anything like? Is how old is the? Look how old the facility is. Look how old I'm sure every piece of equipment is in that facility. It's not state of the art. They don't have state of the art draining. None of that. So I'm sure the grounds crew is adequate at best.
Yep. I mean, you can paint the field all you want. And when we did the Chicago Football Classic at Soldier Field, the field looked great. The field looked great before, during, and after the game. It's not only that. There's so many other things that is wrong with this picture. So many other things. But it begins and ends with the last name McCaskey. Virginia McCaskey. There you go. There you go. Until she relinquishes the team like Martha Ford needed to relinquish the team in Detroit, the Bears are going to be where they are. And they're going to remain where they are. They're not going to be competitive. They're not going to get any quality players. They're ruining the only quality player they have in Justin Fields. They allow David Montgomery, their multiple-time 1,000-yard rusher, to walk. They allow him to walk. What does that tell you? They don't want to keep anybody around. They don't want to keep anybody around. And it's awful. It's god awful that it's come to this.
Yep.
I mean, the best. Okay. This is my personal perspective when it comes to the Chicago Bears. What told me how the Bears are going to be, they beat the Redskins in RFK in 1984 to get the to get to the NFC Championship. They go to San Francisco. They hold the 49ers to 6 points in the first half. 6. They pick off Joe Montana twice. And they still get shut out 23-0. They still get shut out 23-0. That right there told me everything I needed to know about the Chicago Bears. I mean, God love you, Walter Payton, Willie Gault, Dennis McKinnon, that offensive line that stayed cohesive for 10 years, Mike Ditka, and everybody with that team that should have been a dynasty. That should have been a dynasty, but they're like the Cubs. They're too freaking cheap.
Mm-hmm.
They're too freaking cheap. They don't want to be Victor said it. They want to be a media circus and not a championship team, i.e. Dallas Cowboys, i.e. Carolina Panthers. i.e., Brooklyn Mess.
Well, you can't see, but Dallas puts Dallas spends the money for the talent. You can't say that they don't spend the money for the talent, because
that I won't say. They do
spend the money.
For
They bring in talent. They have talent on that team. Now, coaching on the other hand,
thank you,
is different. Like
very much.
They have a coach that
what does Victor say? What does Victor say? Pennywise, the dancing clown, and he is a clown. Good Lord,
they do have a championship team over there. I'm not gonna act like they have the talent there to win a title. Now, can the coaching lead them there?
No,
that's different. Now, you look at Chicago, they have nothing. That cupboard is
got
barren.
nothing.
It has nothing in that cupboard. There's nothing in that cupboard but Justin Fields, and you expect him to do it all. He doesn't play defense. He doesn't play special teams. What do you expect him to do?
You know, the crazy part is they traded up to draft Justin Fields, and then they traded the number 1 pick. They tanked out last year, had the number 1 overall pick,
but really, but was there any were any of those quarterbacks that came out in this draft, right? Any of them really?
No,
really.
I'll stop your question and I'll answer it. No. This draft class that's coming up is 20 times better than the draft class that came in this year. And that includes CJ Stroud, who has been pummeled. That includes Anthony frickin' Richardson, who somewhat has been pummeled. And I say somewhat because for me, the jury is still out on Anthony Richardson. But the jury is no longer out on Justin Fields. He needs to go. He needs to go to a team that will actually protect him. Here's the problem. Who's there? Where would he go?
Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, who knows indeed. Oh boy. What are your thoughts on the Bears, folks? What are your thoughts on the Bears? Comment down below. For those of you watching on YouTube for the first time, thank you. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. For those of you watching on CSTV as well as BS3 TV Network, thank you. Those of you listening on WIRU, thank you as well. Take a pause for a break, and when y'all get back, it's the Cool and Coach Hour, and there are a few things that we're going to discuss, including some first-time nominees for the NFL Hall of Fame. And I have a couple bones to pick with the Hall of Fame. Back in a minute.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
Where did the time go? I don't know how I got here.
You've done the hard part. You quit smoking. Now do the easy part and get scanned for lung cancer. If you smoked, you may still be at risk, but early detection could save your life. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org.
If you're talking, they will hear you.
We all want our kids to grow up safe and healthy, so we show them how. And we tell them with honest conversations that let them know what we expect. Not just one time, but every chance we get. That's especially important when it comes to alcohol and other drugs. Kids not only need to know the dangers and how to avoid them, they need to hear it often from you. And when it comes to pain medications, opioids, they need to know that they should never be taken without a prescription and never shared with friends or family. It's dangerous and illegal. So talk with your kids and guide them through the challenges of growing up safe and healthy. Because when you talk, they hear you. For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
So talk, they hear you. You can do it if you try.
He was only 58 years old when he passed away. That outcome could have been different.
Colorado happens to be one of the worst states for radon levels.
It's in our ground, and it seeps up.
The more you breathe radon, the more chance you have of DNA being hit and the cell mutated. The EPA estimates 22,000 lung cancer deaths a year caused by radon.
We all make choices. When it comes to alcohol, kids make choices whether to drink or not.
Bye, Dad.
Bye-bye.
Remember, I'm going to Alex's party tonight and sleeping over.
Have fun. Hey, have a seat for a second. Remind me about that party again?
Alex is just
And adults make choices whether to talk about it. That's true of parents and every other trusted adult in a kid's life. Kids want to know our expectations when it comes to alcohol and other drugs. They want guidance and honest answers to their questions. And it makes a difference when the message is consistent and part of everyday conversations. So talk with your kids and help lead them on a positive path. Because when you talk, they hear you. For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
Time for hour 2.
Everything Boston. I love you morons. New Kids on the Block, New Edition.
Dear whatever the law firm is. Sincerely, the U.S. Supreme Court.
Ben Affleck, Matt Damon. Go yourself again, Jason.
Ready to hang with some fellas who know football? Let's ride. LC Muscles 28.
I think they're the most overrated defense in the league.
Steel Sermon.
We did not trail for a single second.
Tiny Tim.
McCarthy is a bonehead.
A Pizzle 90.
I'm going with my boys. Fins up, baby.
Get ready for the Four Horsemen of Peckham's. Every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central on YouTube. Papi J.
You got the option to cry for the government. You got the option to protest. You got the option to keep buying, but this is also an option.
Wize El Jefe.
We're the first tech geeks. We're the first gamers. We're the first everything. Everything. Like Gen X's, we are the ones.
BS3 Network proudly presents the crew from the New York boroughs who never wants that smoke. Nah, they want that fire. Papi J and Wize El Jefe. Fridays at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. Check your local listings for your viewing and listening pleasure.
Mister? How do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Wize El Jefe along with the Snowman joining, and I gotta find the right. I gotta find the right button here. Thought I was ready. Nope, I'm not. So, here we go. Let's bring on our next guest, shall we? Here's one half of that tandem. This is the coach. Coach Dante joins right now. What's up, Coach?
How you doing, man? How y'all doing this morning, bro?
Morning, Coach.
Hey,
morning, Coach.
Morning,
Doing
morning.
good. We're good. We're doing good, man. We're doing good. How are you?
I'm doing awesome, man. How y'all? I'm doing great.
Okay. Your thoughts on tonight's game, Giants and 49ers from Levi's.
My thoughts on tonight's game. Saquon Barkley is out tonight for the Giants, so that's going to be a huge loss for the New York Giants for what they want to do for us the running game going, because Saquon Barkley is the big part of that offense. He is probably the main part of the offense to get the Giants up started right, and a lot of Daniel Jones not being able to turn the ball over is because of Saquon Barkley, because when they can run the ball and because when they control time of possession. So other than that, he ain't got that person in that Saquon Barkley in the backfield. So expect to be a lot of throwing opportunities for Daniel Jones and him trying to use his legs a lot. But to me, I think the 49ers, like I say, they just on another level than the Giants. Their defense is insane. Bosa is insane. That defensive line can get to the quarterback. They can stop the run. Their secondary, probably the weakest point of the team. But other than that, that D-line is getting home. They're going to be tough to stop. The secondary is competitive. They're all competitive on the secondary. They do got Fred Warner, who's an all-pro at the linebacker position. They do got Ofunga, who's an all-pro at that safety position, and Shatavius Ward, who's really good, who's about a top 15 cornerback in the league last year. So they're pretty good on the defensive side of the ball, and Brock Purdy is getting better and better on reading the defense, and Christian McCaffrey is just a world beater on the passing game and the run game. Brandon Ayuk is turning into one of the brightest young stars in this game. George Kittle, we already know if you want to say he's the best tight end in the league, then won't be mad at you on that. For his blocking, catching the ball, I think this is the 49ers is going to win this game, man. And I think it's going to be hard for the Giants because Daniel Jones is going to be pressured all night. They're not going to have a Saquon Barkley out there in the backfield who can catch out of the backfield and who can run the ball. It may be a little tougher night for the Giants tonight.
Yeah, here's the line. It's 10.5 right now. Wize and I think it'll be closer than 10.5. Over under is 44. Our line's brought to you by BetUS.com. What do you think about this? Niners are laying 10.5 at Levi's tonight.
I think it's possible. They can win by 10.5, especially at their home field at Levi's. They had the first two games on the road, which is it was a close game against the Los Angeles Rams. I've been very impressed how the Rams actually played. They've been really playing
Absolutely.
well. They got an upcoming wide receiver who's really actually good too, man. So I've been very impressed with how the Rams have been actually playing. But that defense for the 49ers is really, really good, man. It's really hard to score on that defense. And that defense is, is right and it stays healthy. That's a really tough defense to score on. But I'm expecting the Giants to have a lot of trouble tonight with Saquon Barkley. Not in that backfield. That's a lot of throwing opportunities if the running game is not working for Daniel Jones. And that offensive line is really, really bad. Evan Neal has not lived up to that number 5 overall pick. He's just been getting pushed around every single game that I saw. He's just been getting manhandled in that. And that Bosa and that damn defensive line is going to be looking to just pump the Giants all night long, just like the Cowboys did. And Arizona for the first half of that game did that. So it's possible they're going to win. They can win by 10.5.
Let me go up to Cool McCool. Danger is his business. What's going on, Mr. McCain? How are you, man?
What's going on, my good people? How's everybody doing today?
Man, we're doing great. Good to have you and the coach here. You're inside of the Cool and Coach Hour, second half of Snowman in the Morning on a Thursday. Let me get your quick preview of this one tonight from Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara. It's an 8:15 kickoff. The time that you see is the time I will start my stream tonight. Your thoughts, your quick thoughts on the Giants and the 49ers.
It's a tough draw for the Giants, man. I mean, they had the good comeback. They kind of woke up, it feels like, in that second half last week. But, man, going against San Francisco right now, San Francisco's perceived to be the best team in the NFC right now, right? I mean, Eagles are struggling some, so no real discussion there. The Cowboys, they always have the strong start, but nobody expects them to be able to be consistent. So you look at San Francisco and say right now they're the most complete team in the NFC. But there's one thing that everybody has to remember. They play the games for a reason. We don't look at who's the best and who's not and just say, hey, the Giants are going to lose this game because San Francisco is supposed to be better. If the Giants can run the ball, if Jalen Hyde can play well, the Giants have a solid defensive front. The Giants are going to be good on the defensive side of the ball. So they're going to make things difficult for Brock Purdy. I believe this is the best defense San Francisco has faced this season. So we're going to see a little bit more about what they can do. Do I think the Giants are going to shut San Francisco down? I am not unrealistic. I don't live in a fantasy world. But I do think the Giants do have the players and the defensive scheme where they have advantage areas. The 49ers like to run the ball. The Giants have a solid front. That's something they're going to be able to make them have to have pressure and stress a little bit out to do. They're not going to allow them to be easy. They're not going to allow them to just take off and do what they want to do. The Giants do have some questions at the corner position because they have young guys there. So that's going to be somewhere that the 49ers are going to attempt to exploit. But Wink Martindale should be wise and say, hey, I know what we're going against. Let me make some changes. Let me make sure that we have the right coverages in play to get these guys help on these dynamic 49ers receivers. So I think 49ers will win the game just because I think they'll be able to make more plays offensively. But I do think the Giants are going to show a lot of people that they're not 40-0 bad. And that when you put them up against a team and you give them a chance to scheme and you let those guys start to get a little bit of work and kind of figure out the NFL, this is not a bad team at all.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Wize and I both think it'll be. Let me give you the line here. It's the first time I had Cool on a pick. Let's do a game pick right now. Dante says it'll be over 10.5. Wize and I think to take the points. What are your thoughts? Niners are laying 10.5 at home with the over-under being 44. Your thoughts, Mr. McCain?
I would probably take the points just because one explosive play can give you 10 when you're already up 3. So I'd probably take the points. But if that line was a little bit bigger, if you gave us about 12.5, I would say nah. But I think 10.5, I think I'll take that.
Yeah. I'm taking the points here. We'll do all of our picks tomorrow, and I'll review the game and review the game tomorrow. Justin Fields. Wize and I touched on this before we started the second half. Fields says, quote, I felt like I wasn't necessarily playing my game. I felt like I was robotic and not playing like myself. My goal this week is to just say, F it and go out there and play football how I know to play football. That includes thinking less and just going out there and playing off of instincts rather than so much, say, info in my head, data in my head. Just literally going out there and playing football. Just going back to it's a game and that's it, close quote. Fields told reporters that Wednesday. Let me start with Dante and get your thoughts so far on not only on that quote from Justin Fields, part of this article courtesy of USA Today, but he feels like he's been robotic. What are your thoughts so far on the conundrum that is Justin Fields?
Well, the word on the street that I've been hearing a lot because I talk to a lot of Bears fans, and the offensive coordinator is not good. Luke Getsy is not very creative in drawing it up. And I believe that's like Justin. That's most of what Justin Field regression is coming from is Luke Getsy. Him not being a creative play caller, but also you got other problems outside of Justin Fields. I'm not a big fan of Chase Claypool, aka Finding Nemo, because the last time I found him,
I'm not a fan of him either.
Yeah, the last time I saw him play, that was very good, productive. Was his rookie year in Pittsburgh. That's the last time I can see him being productive. He basically quit on plays. If you look at that game against Green Bay, down there Mooney got put on a wrestling move, and you look at that play. Chase Claypool didn't even try to block Jair Alexander. He wanted no part of the game, so he has a history of quitting on plays, and that's something you don't need right there. Then you're also still having trouble with the offensive line. You still haven't fixed that yet outside of Darrell Wright. The defense is not really good at all. So other than that, it's a lot more problems with the Chicago Bears than going on with Justin Fields at that point. But Justin, I like what he came out and said. He got to go out there and just play football the way he knows how to play it. But I just don't think the play calling and the creativity of the play calling is the right thing for Justin Fields. I think that's what he mean kind of by that a little bit, because that's the word I'm getting for the Bears community, and they hate Luke Getsy to death. So again, and then the locker room was lost. If the locker room lost early, that's on the head coach. That's on the head coach. That's a coaching problem. If the locker room is already lost and players out there quitting in the Packers game, they literally gave up and quit. And Greg Olsen said it himself. Those guys were quitting the moment they got up. So that's a coaching. That's a coaching problem right there. If the players are not ready to come out there and play, that's on Matt Eberflus. But the Lou Getsy is not being a creative play caller. Why would you call a screen at the goal line? When you're backed up, you literally tried to call a screen in the middle of the scene at your own 5-yard line. I don't understand that, but Justin Fields just needs to go out there and play football how he knows how to play it. But other than that, it's things way beyond Justin Fields. What's going on with the Chicago Bears?
Jody and I talked about this after that Bears debacle against the Packers, and Cole Johnson has joined us. Good morning to you, sir. And you brought this to me, and I want to bring it back to you. And I want to give Cole. I'm going to do something. I want to give Cole the floor, and I'll read this. I'll read this quote again. And let me thank you, Cole, for sending this to me. Justin Fields tells reporters Wednesday, quote, I felt like I wasn't necessarily playing my game. I felt like I was robotic and not playing like myself. My goal this week is to just say F it and go out there and play football how I know to play football. That includes thinking less and just going out there and playing off of instincts rather than so much, say, info in my head, data in my head. Just literally going out there and playing football, just going back to it's a game and that's it, close quote. My thoughts are these. The Bears may have gotten who they thought was a quarterback of the future, but they didn't secure him with an offensive line. It's like Victor said and continues to say, and it's so true. In front of Justin Fields are 5 300-pound mannequins acting as turnstiles. If week 1 against the Packers didn't show you anything, if week 2 against the Buccaneers don't show you anything, then I don't know what other proof to provide. This is a problem. This has been a problem. And you know what? I don't even count the 2006 Super Bowl year. This has been a problem since the 80s for the Bears after their legendary offensive line broke up. And they did not – and you know what? They had Jim McMahon, of course. We all know what happened to him. But they had a former Detroit Lion quarterback who was ready to set some records by the name of Eric Kramer. And they ruined him. Why? No. Not why. How? They didn't protect him. Go back and look at that 1995 season when Eric Kramer played for the Chicago Bears. Where's the protection in front of him? And you saw his play go down further and further and further. And remember, Kramer was 4 years removed from participating in an NFC championship game. In an NFC championship game while he was with the Detroit Lions, and that, of course, came against the Washington Redskins. So Justin Fields is in a long line of Bears quarterbacks who have been failed, who have been ruined, who have been destroyed by the cheapness of the McCaskies, by the stupidity of the line of coaches, Dick Duran included. And now I still don't know what the hell an Eberflus is, or what kind of offense an Eberflus is running. I don't even want to know what the hell an Eberflus is. Cole, take the floor. The floor is yours.
Look, all I know is this. You felt the need to draft a player that's supposed to be your future, and the pieces around him, and I'm not just talking about on the field, off the field, it's not indicative of helping this young man out. Now, you should have seen him in Ohio State and realized, okay, well, this might be a bit of a project here because he might not be the finished product coming out of Columbus. However, you thought, okay, everything is fine because he was tearing it up at Ohio State. He should be able to tear it up here, especially now with these hybrid quarterbacks that are now becoming in vogue. But you're not helping the young man out. Starting with the 300-pound mannequins that are acting as turnstiles every single chance they get.
Amen to that.
You spread it to the running backs where you had a good one and you let him go. And now you're scratching your head as to who is going to be behind him. And then you all think that everything is all gravy with DJ Moore on one side and Chase Claypool on the other.
I'm sorry, who? Who was that first receiver?
DJ Moore on one side, Chase Claypool on the other side. Those are the two dynamic wide receivers he has to throw to. He basically has to go to Cole Kmet in order to have actually some semblance of a pass catcher. That is how horrendous your organization is. The defense, unfortunately, they're just as bad off as Fields is because they're put behind the A-ball before they set foot on the field too.
Yep.
So now you have a rabid fan base that's looking at a horrendous organization. And now, from the top on down, and yes, I've had the feels for Bears fan simply because I understand how can I put this? How you can have crap at the top and it just runs downhill. I mean, it literally looks like Virginia McCaskey could give two craps about how the Bears roll. And I'm thinking, well, if that's the case, sell your investment. Sell it to somebody who actually will care about the team. Meanwhile, you're going to actually, with your apathy, have it seep down everywhere else. And that's what we're seeing. And it's unfortunate because Mr. Fields is the face of the team, and he's about to have the same apathy worn on him because the crap has rolled now down to him as you have exercised, and so aptly you said, partner, ever since Charles Martin decided to bear hug Jim McMahon and body slam him face first, or I should say head first, into the Soldier Field turf. And we're talking now 37 years. As an organization, Bears, you should be ashamed of yourself. And now you have put a quarterback in position to be destroyed. And I don't mean this in a metaphoric way. I mean this in a real way. You will probably get this young man injured and out of the sport because of how little you care about the people you draft. Shame on you, Bears.
Let me have this back for a moment. When Charles Martin body slammed Jim McMahon to the turf in a game against Green Bay in 1986, which basically destroyed any Bears chances of A, creating a dynasty, and B, any quarterback playing for the Bears again, I outlined Jim McMahon. I also outlined Eric Kramer because Eric Kramer came the closest to throwing for 4,000 yards. You realize the Bears are the only
team in the
quarterback that does not have a 4,000-yard passer. The two closest quarterbacks that have come to throwing for 4,000 yards, Jim Harbaugh and Eric Kramer. Not even Jay Cutler. And you know, they sure as hell didn't protect him. They sure as hell didn't protect him. And yet, Jay Cutler is the Bears' all-time leading passer. What does that say about your organization? Okay, the Oilers had Warren Moon. The 49ers had Montana and later Steve Young. The Cardinals had Neil Lomax. The Redskins had Joe Theismann. I can name quarterbacks from every other team in the NFL that has had at least one 4,000-yard passer. And the Bears have none. None. And then earlier in this preseason, as my partner has outlined to me, everybody was so high on hell, they were high on Justin Fields when they drafted
him.
They were high on Justin Fields, and they moved up 10 spots to get him, by the way. You could have kept that draft capital, okay, and used it for, I don't know, maybe an offensive line, perhaps, maybe a number one wide receiver, but you mortgaged your future. You're taking the Rams blueprint. You're taking the Rams blueprint. You mortgaged your future for DJ Moore. Let that sink in, Bears fans. Your team mortgaged your future, And there's some stud receivers coming out in the draft this coming year for DJ Moore. What the hell is wrong with this picture? And now you have a quarterback who will not be allowed to play quarterback, who will not be allowed to be himself, who has to think opposite of what your so-called offensive coordinator wants to incorporate, because you won't let him be himself, you won't let him play, and the most important thing of all, you will not protect him. I offer the case of Steve Young, who was getting run over, beat up, beat inside out in Tampa Bay. Then Bill Walsh plucked him, put him behind an offensive line that actually knew how to protect him. Steve Young learned how to play the quarterback position, which unfortunately Justin Fields won't because he's running for his life. And everybody in Chicago is liking the fact that he set a record for rushing yards by a quarterback with a 1,000-yard season. Let this sink in, Bears fans. Your quarterback is supposed to play quarterback. He's the point guard of the offense. He's supposed to put the rest of the players in a position to win. And unfortunately, since 1986, you have not had that. And you won't have that either until the top of the organization decides to move on. And as David Kaplan said best in a program that I miss hearing and that he has said to me personally, get some football people in here. Fix this doggone thing. Mr. McCain, you're next.
So I want to start by correcting one of Snowman's statements. So they didn't mortgage their future for DJ Moore. They actually got a first-round pick from the Panthers back as well. So they have the Panthers' first-round pick this year. And the way they're looking, that's going to be a good pick. But from what I'm seeing from Chicago, that's not going to be good because they're not going to make the right choice. So I'm going to go all the way back.
Which is why I said what I said.
I'm going to go all the way back to the draft. You know whose fault it is that Justin Fields is in the situation he is? It is the San Francisco 49ers for making the wrong pick and drafting Trey Young. Had you brought in Justin Fields, that you should have, Trey Lance. If you had brought in the guy you should have, which is Justin Fields, then we would not have this discussion because Trey Lance would have been, Justin Fields would have been allowed to be himself more in a more free-flowing offense. So San Francisco 49ers fans, you went out, you bet on the wrong guy. He didn't work out. You had to get rid of him. You know Justin Fields was a better quarterback. You should have went with Justin Fields. So shame on you first. All right. Now we're going to move on to the Chicago Bears. You draft Justin Fields. You move up. You get the quarterback. Cool. You know the kind of quarterback that he is. You know what you're going to need to do. You're going to have to help him. You're going to have to develop him. You're going to have someone that'll teach him. He needs a mentor as his backup that can help him make the transition to the NFL. He's never had that. But we're not going to sit here and put all the blame on the organization and Matt Eberflus and the offensive coordinator and all those things. We're also going to take a nice part of that blame. We're going to walk it over to Justin Fields. And we're going to place it squarely on top of his head while the putrid diarrhea from the organization falls down on them all, as Cole so eloquently said. Justin Fields needs to work on understanding you're an NFL quarterback now. So since you are an NFL quarterback, number one, you don't get in a press conference and say, they're not letting me play the way I want to play. So that's why I'm not playing well. And that's why we're losing, because I don't want to adjust and learn anything different. I have to be able to just go out there and play playground football. But if I can't do that, then I can't be successful. So they're stopping me from being a good quarterback. If I ever see another, that's how he looked to me. That's how he said it to me. I don't know if that's how he said it, but that's how he said it to me when I heard it. Right? I listened to it 3 times. That's what I heard all 3 times.
Facts.
So I'm just saying, like, Justin Fields, this is ultimately on you because there's this thing called your rookie contract, right? You're already into that.
2 years in.
Mm-hmm. Right. So once that's over, you get better, you develop yourself. You have the opportunity to say, I don't want to be here, right? And then if they say, oh, we're just going to do that 5th-year option for you, cool. Anytime I get a finger hurt, my legs get sore, my knee hurts a little bit, I can't play because I'm injured. Because that's what the running backs are going to start doing. But I'm going to tell you. Yes, sir.
Are you saying that he should he should go to the Lamar Jackson playbook of how to negotiate?
Yes, I am saying so.
Yes.
If If he gets to that,
that's what I
point
thought.
and they
That's
won't
what I
allow
thought.
him go. Yes, that's what I'm saying. But my biggest concern is, I told people, including one Brian Snow here on this particular program, that DJ Moore was not a number one receiver.
Sure ain't.
Brian Snow did not agree with me. But guess what?
What?
Now you see for yourself.
That's wrong. I did agree with you on that statement. I did agree with you because in watching DJ Moore in Carolina, I knew he was a 2. Hell, for me, he's not even a 3. So
he's a 2, but he's a 2 without a 1. So what you have is we have a 2 without a 1.
Yeah, he's a 2 without a 1.
He's not good.
True. Yep.
Because you take a number 2 receiver, you put your best cornerback on him, he's no show.
He's done.
And that's what's happening. Yeah. So okay, fine, Snowman. If you want to say you didn't say it, I don't believe it. I believe you liked it.
Really?
Whatever. Yeah. I'm not gonna go pull up the receipts, whatever. If that's what you say. But I will say this.
Skip you, Cole.
I will say this, and this will be my last thought. Chicago Bears, you have a history of being very bad. Yeah, you do. Right. But also, Justin Fields, if you want a career in Chicago or somewhere else, you're going to have to start doing what a lot of these dual threat quarterbacks have done. Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson, Randall Cunningham back in the day, Steve Young, the whole list, the gamut of them. You're going to have to develop the ability to say, okay, they want me to run an offense where I am reading more of the defense, where I'm doing more than I'm comfortable with now. Let me start putting in more time at the facility to learn how to do that, instead of whining to the media that they're trying to make me actually be an NFL quarterback. So that part is on you. This is an organizational thing. You shouldn't be going through this in your second year in the league, granted, but you still should not be whining to the public. You should be talking with that to your coaches, and you should be developing yourself. You should be getting you a quarterback guru to work with, people to help you learn the things you need to learn. But instead, what are you doing? You're going to the media and saying, I just want them to let me go out there and play playground football and get beat up and hit and hurt because that makes me happy. Stop your capping.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Cool. I was late. But I beg to differ, sir. I actually want Mr. Fields to do just that. I want him to be at the press conference and say, I can't play the way that I really want to play. The organization is forcing me to read the playbook that is a Harry Potter novel thick size. I can't read all that stuff. I need to have something that is a paper, that's a one-sheeter. Like the offense coordinator has. I can manage that. I can't manage this Harry Potter novel. That's more theater.
Is that how he sounds to you?
You ain't got a lick of sense, man.
Oh my God! I love how he sounds so cool and how he sounds to you.
He said Harry Potter
novel. And this crew, he said a Harry Potter novel, and my wife loves Harry Potter. You ain't got a lick of sense, man.
But you know that's how. But you know how these QBs think. They think NFL playbooks are that thick.
Kyler Murray, anyone?
Thank you.
I'm a little late here with this.
Wait a minute. Kyler Murray, an NFL quarterback?
I got one.
No, but seriously, I agree. Go cool.
What's up, Vicola? Carry on.
No, but seriously,
why did I pull that? Why did I pull that clip up last night, Cole? With you going, you gonna see the line screen, you see the white letter with the Vicola. And Jody heard that, flipped over and says, "That's where that came from." Let's take a break. When we come back, it's supposed to be an incredible weekend in college football. Except there's only one place that is truly highlighted. We'll discuss when y'all get back.
Join the transporter to Hades.
Your butt and gut becomes one.
Join the reformer of hooker whores.
This is my daughter, Placenta Booty Johnson.
Join the bronze car.
Whenever you are in distress, take off your baseball cap and throw it in the air.
Join your very own superhero of broadcasting, Chris Bass.
So whatever color crown they get, they palm it and do 2 circles, and that translates to, I can be the black people.
As he takes you through the week's paces in Baseline. Live every Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central, No, Pacific time zone people, just stay asleep when this is on live and just catch the recording. Oh, I'm sorry. Exclusively on the Chris Bass YouTube channel.
Everything Boston. I love you morons. New Kids on the Block, New Edition.
Dear whatever the law firm is. Sincerely, the U.S. Supreme Court.
Ben Affleck, Matt Damon. Go yourself again, Jason.
Ready to hang with some fellas who know football? Let's ride. LC Muscles 28.
I think they're the most overrated defense in the league.
Steel Sermon.
We did not trail for a single second.
Tiny Tim.
McCarthy is a bonehead.
A Pizzle 90.
I'm going with my boys. Fins up, baby.
Get ready for the 4 Horsemen of Pick'ems. Every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central on YouTube. Hey, Eagles fan. Join my man Cool McCain and a host of others as they break down every single game, every single week in an objective manner, and also from a fan's perspective as well. Remember, this cast feels just like you. Nobody likes you. And you don't care. Fly, Eagles, fly. Eagles Elite Podcast. Every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern on YouTube and other podcast outlets.
You fool! Give me this, give me this, give me this, give me this, give me this camera. Yes, LeBron, it is you. It's always been you. It always will be you. Forever and ever. Amen.
Welcome back to Snowman and the Wonderful Cole Johnson. We're joined by Cool and the Coach for Cool and Coach Hour every Thursday, and we're also joined by Wize El Jefe. The bit that you just heard or just seen is now the new intro for One Snowman.
Give me this, give me this, give me this, give me this.
You just got a lot of time in your hand, man. Like this, the stuff. Like you've been coming up with some fire stuff lately, man.
You know what?
You
know what?
Not even, the first time today was the first time I saw the intro that you did.
Yeah,
I was like, I'm looking at it. I'm like,
I swear Cole has an evil twin that creeps into his head and say, you could use this for Chris Bass, you could use this for Chris Bass. I must have played that on loop for 10 minutes. That baseline commercial.
The baseline commercial? Mm-hmm.
I played that on loop for 10 minutes while I was editing yesterday when I got home. and Jody walks by just as the placenta clip was playing.
and I'm sorry. Before you continue, thank you.
Personal favorite.
Thank you, sir. Because it was his story that led to that soundbite from Chris Bass.
I mean, like I said, Jody walks by just as she sees the placenta clip.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, back that up and play it again. So I played it again.
Not back that up. Uh-oh.
She said, no, Jody said, back it up. Okay. She said, back that up. She says, back that up and play it again.
We need to cut fandom music right now, Cole.
Man, you know what? You know what? I'm waiting to see what Cole comes up with for Dante's intro. Because I know that one's going to be off the charts. Because all we got to do, I won't even mention it here because he'll go off the charts now. But I played it again, and Jody just looked at me and said, placenta? And I said, baby, this is not one of mine. And she said,
oh my gosh.
She says, who came up with it? I said, watch the rest of it. And she saw Chris Bass's picture, and she goes, I should have known. I'm going to bed. And she peeled out and went to bed.
John is wild, yo.
Listen.
John is wild.
Listen. Oh, hell no.
Hey, Brian. There's a quarterback available out there. Johnny Manziel. Why doesn't the Bears hire him? He won no parts of the football field.
Nah, he don't want that smoke. He definitely don't want none of that fire.
How do I describe Johnny Manziel? Booty!
Oh, Lord.
That was pretty, I like that.
Thank you. Yeah, and cool. I admit with the Snowman intro, my favorite part is the give it his camera line.
Bro, I saw that. Man, I almost needed an oxygen mask.
I do need an oxygen mask. Now I'm gonna have it on loop in my car. I'm gonna have it on loop in my car when I drive. That whole I mean this playfully. I mean this playfully. Cole, I love you, but I hate you for that intro. No, I can't get it out of my head. Doggone it.
John is wild, bro.
John is being stupid, and I love it. Us Browns fans to trade you Deshaun Watson. Listen, you ain't trading Deshaun Watson for 49ers.
Lord.
That's my team. Okay, we got our guy. And cool, you're absolutely correct. We had no business drafting Trey Lance. None.
Yep.
Absolutely none. We listened to the
Justin
peer pressure,
was sitting right
and
there.
It cost us 3 years.
But
So-
there was no pressure. Nobody thought he wasn't even. He wasn't
ready.
a first round pick. In my opinion, he shouldn't even been a first round pick.
So John,
I had been drafted over Trey Lance. I mean, over Justin Fields either.
So John, you're basically saying that you're willing to give up the guy who's like, yeah, come on, baby, yeah, come on, sit down, yeah, throw me that towel. There you go, baby. Yeah, just sit down. There you go. Yeah, you look good. You look good.
You need help, man. You need help.
Don't
You need
move.
serious
Don't
help.
move. Don't move, girl. Don't.
We agreed to this extra 5,000, so we.
Oh my
good.
God.
Was that good for you, baby? Because that was something good for me.
I'm eating you, tall.
Oh my God.
You want to get rid of him? You want to get rid of him, John? No, man.
You know what, y'all? We about to hit the train track. So before we hit the train tracks, we got to talk college football, don't we?
Man,
Yes.
Hit the train tracks anyway.
We right there at the train tracks. We so close.
Hit the train tracks anyway. All right. Well,
Hit
hey.
him anyway. You fool! Give me this. Give me this. Give me this. Give me this. Give me this camera. Yes, LeBron, it is you. It's always been you. It always will be you. Forever and ever. Amen. Happier.
There is no better interest than that for Brian Snow. There is no better interest.
Thank you, sir.
That is not
Thank
Brian
you.
Snow in a nutshell.
I've said this about Cole for the 7.5
Cole.
years we've been friends. You ain't got a lick of sense.
Lick of sense. Thank you, Cole. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Wize. I'm glad you enjoyed that too, man.
I will add this for that intro. Pardon me while I stand up and applaud.
Thank you, sir.
I almost choked on that. Give me this camera repeat.
That was great.
And the best part, you did it in the font that represents my team.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
How long did it take you to cut that particular piece? That give me this camera. How long did it take you to edit that?
that would took from concept to actually having it all set, probably about half hour.
And then the music bit from Shaft, of course. Sick Dickie gave that introduction.
Yes.
After I came out of surgery last year.
Right. So of course it's a nod to that intro, right?
Yes. Yes. What else? What can't he do? Because all I gotta do is play that.
I'll tell you what he can't do. He can't keep us on track. That's what he can't do.
Oh, really? Okay.
Wow.
So
in
2 days. Okay, fine. So 2 days from now,
I take that as shots fired.
Oh, that's a big.
I do.
I know that on me. I know who that's on, but since that's not happening, Cool is correct.
You fool!
So in the college slate, which is normally doesn't happen, you have 7 ranked games, or 7 games between ranked teams being played on the gridiron Saturday.
But only one matters.
In terms of the media, only one really does matter. Now, what the funny thing is, the game that really does not matter to the media is Ohio State versus Notre Dame, because I've heard very little in that conversation about that game. Very little.
And these are 2 top 10 teams. Ohio State at 6, Notre Dame at 9.
Mm-hmm.
And it's in front of Touchdown Jesus. It's on NBC.
Mm-hmm.
Is Mike calling that? Mike Tirico?
There's no
Is Tirico on the call for that game?
I'm thinking so. Didn't he call Notre Dame games?
Well, there are a couple of times someone else that called Notre Dame game.
Okay. All right.
But I think Tirico's on the call for that. Live research coming.
It's just
no one's talking about Ohio State or Notre Dame.
There's no storyline.
True. I mean,
he's
serious. Both teams are like, you do have a good point, Cole.
True. What is impressive about either one of those 2 teams? What is impressive?
Really?
What is the most impressive thing?
Really, nothing. Yeah, Wize actually said it. Nothing. Yeah. Yeah.
There's nothing that stands out about either one of these 2 teams, and yet it's a primetime game. Can we schedule this?
You know
for
what?
noon?
You just said something. You said a key word right now. Prime time.
Oh, you know what?
Focus. Prime time. Forget the time. Just think about prime. That's what people will care about right now.
As I said.
That's the only thing that's on people's mind.
As I said, the media and actually fans only care about one of those 7, and that is the game in Eugene between Colorado and Oregon. And who's
calling that Notre Dame game?
Who?
Noah Eagle and I just saw it. Noah Eagle
Oh,
and Todd Blackledge.
Okay,
Iron's baby boy.
Iron Son. Okay.
Yep. The
Okay,
voice of the
Iron Son's
Clippers.
calling it.
Radio voice of the
Okay.
Los Angeles Clippers will have that call. But in terms of media hype, the only game that
It's
matters
not
is
even
in
close.
Eugene, Oregon.
Yeah, but this is what I find really ironic about John. This is what I find really ironic about it.
Mm-hmm.
In the past, even in the recent past, if you have two top 10 teams playing against each other,
right,
conversation stops everywhere else.
Yeah,
and this is one of those rare times where you have the marquee matchup not be a team. One is ranked 6 and the other's ranked 9. It is one of the darndest things I have seen. And it actually shows how big of an impact Coach Prime actually has.
Well, he's going to get the test of his life come Saturday.
Let other people tell you it's not Coach Prime. Let other people tell you that he's a fraud. That what he does, what he says is all show. What he says, it doesn't mean it. Listen, we there's people that need to get put on blast, but we'll save that for mentality. But
there's some people that need to get punched in the face.
Yes, because I know of one person my partner is referencing.
Yes, he's a fat hypocrite, but we just never talk about him right now.
That's what I was thinking about too.
Oh, that's what I thought. Applause to you, Wize. Can we get that mentality commercial? Can we get that mentality commercial, please?
All right.
Especially the end of it where you zoomed in on him. I won't say his name, but we just zoomed in on him.
Your thing. Okay. No problem. Where is it?
I won't say his name, but
I'm proud of you.
Coach Prime is not a fraud.
No,
okay. Coach Prime is nowhere near a fraud.
He's made things. Fraud is not one of them.
Yeah. Confident is one. A leader is another. A hell of a coach is another. And
inspiring is another.
You know what I find interesting? You know what I find interesting? I'm gonna say his name, so y'all gonna have to forgive me. Jason Fatless wants to dismiss
everything Boston. I love you morons. You Kids on the Block, New Edition,
dear whatever the law firm is. Sincerely, the U.S. Supreme Court.
Ben Affleck, Matt Damon. Go yourself again, Jason.
Oh my goodness. I've never known a man that hates another so hard and so much.
Yeah,
I don't. I'm gonna clarify this. I don't hate Jason. Fatless, witless, whatever we call him. Right? He's just, to me, because in the clips that we've seen, he's used religion, he's used other stuff to try to make Deion look like a villain. Because he's doing something that this fat, greasy, nasty,
give him the camera. Give him the camera. Cole, give him the camera.
This piece of crap try to say he's a Christian and yet he's a hypocrite.
Big one.
Like I'm not a religious person. I'm not gonna claim I'm a Christian, any of that. But I believe Christians, one of the things is to forgive and not judge and all this. But this
agreed.
Agreed. Lord, oh my God. I'm trying to maintain myself right now. But
a person that he actually doesn't hate. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I don't hate him because that's too much. I don't want to waste that type of energy. Do I dislike him?
Agreed.
Yes.
Agreed.
Yes.
Agreed.
To me, he doesn't. He is lower than pond scum.
Okay.
There's nothing this dude can say.
Lower than pond scum.
Right? He's upset because Deion is making these boys into men.
Right before our very eyes.
is criticize and put down another black man,
or put down
to
men,
appease
period.
others, to appease these other coaches that don't agree with what Deion is doing. Well, Deion is changing the game. Deion is here to make an impact. Deion knows his purpose. So for someone like fatless, witless, crapless, whatever, to come out his face, what have you done to empower young men? What have you done to uplift these young men? Nothing. But go on Fox and be proud, MAGA. Go ahead. I'm telling y'all, MAGA, come and get this fat shit. Come get him.
I knew it. Woo!
And this is and my part and my mentality brother says that he does not hate Jason Whitlock.
Why the f you lying? Why you always lying?
Your nickname for him is Jason Fatless Witless.
Yeah.
He is witless.
But see, I don't claim to be a Christian.
Oh, I know. I know.
So I talk smack about it. I don't matter. Like, that's just my opinion.
Right.
True.
Right.
But this
right.
man
Absolutely.
claims to be a Christian.
Absolutely.
And he is a hypocrite. That's my problem. I'm not a hypocrite. I'm gonna say what's on my mind, how I feel, whatever. But
Same.
you're claiming to be a Christian, and yet you're acting unlike a Christian.
So tune in, ladies and gentlemen, to the next edition and installment of Mentality, because you will get to see Bizarre Wize in all of his glory.
We just
go to town on Jason Whitlock yet again. Oh yeah, you believe me, you did see a little bit of it, but you're gonna see it in full display. Where I'm going to just sit back and allow him to eviscerate old Mr. Whitlock yet again.
Cole, you realize
Sir.
when I get home this afternoon, I'm cutting the daylights out of those 180 seconds.
I know you are.
I'm cutting the daylights out of those 180 seconds.
There's been times I've actually tried to not.
And I'm not editing a doggone thing. I'm letting this roll.
There's been times I've actually tried not to put Jason Whitlock on the docket because I know Wize would go in on him. But but there's times when I don't. It's like, man, I gotta talk about him. I'm like, all right, cool.
Well, he gets because I end up seeing something that's just like, yo, is this
this is ridiculous.
At it again?
So, well, let's close with this, and I want to light up the chat here. Jason Witless is to Wize.
Mm-hmm.
Carson Wentz is to Cool McCain.
Oh gosh, yes.
I hate to say this next name, but I gotta highlight it for Coach Dante, which of course would be Joel Embiid.
Yeah, well, I'd say it could be tossed between him and Davis Mills.
That did it right there. That one did it.
Davis Mills. Davis Mills.
We found him.
I changed that. It's Davis Mills. It's Davis Mills. Who is that for you, Mr. Johnson, my dear friend? Who is that for you?
Oh, man.
Who is that one person? Wait. Who is that, Nicole? Who is that one person for you that would make you just do what Dante just did and walk off?
Oh my gosh! Adam's family.
Maybe. I'll probably be either.
Adam, yep, Bud Adams.
Probably the Bud Adams family.
Yep.
I think they're the closest that makes me want to just say, "You all suck." Either them or the McNair family, the ones who own the Texans. I'm almost this close to supplanting the Adams family with the McNair family, but every time I try to nudge the McNair family over them, I still remember Bud throwing a big old FU to Houston, shaking the Nationals mayor's hand in 1995 and moving the Oilers out of Houston. Hey, then I'm reminded of it.
I gotta get this on the part too, though.
But
go ahead, Coach.
Who is that person? Victor, who is that person for you? And John, who is that person for you? Go ahead, Coach. We got about a minute left.
Okay, Brock Osweiler is the worst I've ever seen in my entire life. He is
my
the
God.
worst.
Osweiler was terrible. He was terrible.
How did Brock Osweiler get a contract?
Because of Rick Smith. Rick Smith was the reason why he got the contract. We were so desperate for a quarterback at that time that Brian threw that game against the Kansas City Chiefs when he had that 4 interception game. We were so desperate to get and what's so bad about it, Bill O'Brien didn't even like Brock Osweiler. He didn't even want Brock Osweiler, but Brock Osweiler, I hate that dude. I despise that dude. He was literally throwing out playoff hopes that game against the Jacksonville Jaguars. But you know who had to come in and save the goddamn game for us to make the playoffs? Tom goddamn Savage. How worse can he got? How worse can he got? He gets up out of the game. He has a concussion. Now I got to deal with Brock Osweiler coming back in, playing Tennessee. We lose that game. Then we play the Las Vegas. We played the Raiders. We end up winning that game only because of Derek Carr had a broken leg that MVP season. But how worse could it get when I had to sit up there and watch what Brock Osweiler did and steal money from State Farm commercials and stuff like that? And get $73 million just to go out there and do nothing, just to hit an equipment manager upside the head with a football. How worse that had to be? Now that's the one quarterback I hate and I despise the most is that dude right there.
I'm gonna have to have Coach Dante on my afternoon show one day and just turn all the editing off and just let him go completely ham. And we got to get out of here. Have a great day.
Colorado is going to beat Oregon. Colorado's going to beat Oregon.
Oregon's going to hang 50. Oregon 55, Colorado 51, and it won't require overtime. God bless y'all. We're out of here. We'll see you tomorrow.